like to acknowledge again Her Excellency the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, Her Excellency Senator the Honourable Dr. the Honourable Chantal Munro-Knight, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, His Excellency Minister Corey Lane, Minister of State in the Office of the Attorney General, Her Excellency Ambassador Geraldine Byrne-Nason, Ambassador of Ireland to Barbados, representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of government, industry, academia and the media, distinguished friends and guests, Irish citizens, good evening all. Friends, it's a particular honour to act as your MC tonight and to welcome you on behalf of the Government of Ireland and on behalf of Ireland's first Ambassador to Barbados, Geraldine Byrne-Nason, to our night of recognition and night of celebration. My name is Sharon Lennon, and I have the privilege to lead Ireland's new Office for the Caribbean and to work across a range of areas of mutual interest and shared values with Barbados and with your neighbouring small island states. The deep mutual respect and esteem Barbados and Ireland hold each other in is so clearly demonstrated here tonight, and we recognise and warmly welcome the distinguished representatives of government and distinguished friends here present. Tonight, Ireland feels the warm embrace of friendship, and I wish to thank each and every one of you for joining us on this momentous occasion. So before welcoming the first of our speakers to the stage tonight, and I will ask all of our speakers to exercise a little caution when approaching the lectern, as the Irish weather that has turned on here in Bridgetown tonight has left it a little bit more precarious than normal. I have to take a moment just to express the delight that Ambassador Byrne-Nason and I feel to be surrounded by so many of our country people and to have heard the emotion as you felt the need to burst into song with our national anthem. Céad Míle Fáilte, which means 100,000 welcomes to our Irish friends tonight, to this little piece of home inside the wonderful, receptive, warm home that you have here in Barbados. So with that, I would like to invite to the podium the first of our speakers this evening, the Director of the Barbados Museum and Historical Society, Ms. Alessandra Cummins.
Good evening. A warm welcome to you all. Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados. Her Excellency, Senator Dr. the Honourable Chantal Munro-Knight, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, and may I say, our Minister. Her Excellency, Ambassador Geraldine Byrne-Nason, Ambassador of Ireland to Barbados. Special welcome to you, Madam. Representatives from the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of government, industry, academia, and the media, and special friends, distinguished guests, and friends from all over Barbados, including our colleagues from the Irish Emigration Museum in Dublin. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to the opening of Entangled Islands, Ireland and the Caribbean, an exhibition that delves into the intricate and interwoven histories between these two regions. On behalf of the Barbados Museum and Historical Society, we are thrilled to host this exhibition, which will run from October 2024 through to February 2025. This exhibition is not only a significant addition to our programming, but also a reflection of the museum's commitment to telling multivocal stories and presenting new ways of considering our shared histories. The ties between Ireland and the Caribbean, dating back to the 17th century, are both deep and complex. From the early days when Irish indentured labourers were transported to the Caribbean, to the influential roles which many Irish individuals later assumed as plantation owners and colonial governors. These histories are both interconnected and at times difficult to confront. Yet, it is through this exploration that we gain a richer understanding of the forces that have shaped our societies today. Entangled Islands allows us to explore the experiences of a diverse array of Irish people who moved through and settled in the Caribbean. Importantly, the exhibition invites us to reflect on shared histories of colonization and resistance, whether through Ireland's own fight for independence, which has resonated so profoundly with Caribbean political movements, or the enduring solidarity of Irish men and women with the challenges faced by Caribbean nations. Through the stories of 19 key figures, from merchants and enslavers to poets and journalists, this exhibition uncovers the multifaceted nature of these ties, reminding us of the complexities of history and the many perspectives that must be considered. As a museum, we strive to engage with the past in ways that are inclusive, layered, and thought-provoking. Exhibitions like Entangled Islands provides an opportunity to broaden the narratives that we tell, to challenge established viewpoints, and to foster dialogue around the shared and entangled legacies of colonization, migration, and resistance. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our partners and collaborators who have made this exhibition possible, and I encourage all of you to engage with these stories over the coming months. May this exhibition inspire reflection, conversation, and a deeper understanding of histories that continue to shape our present. Thank you all for being with us this evening, and I hope you enjoy Entangled Islands, Ireland and the Caribbean. Thank you for your presence.
Thank you. I would like now to invite to the stage the Ambassador of Ireland to Barbados, Ambassador Geraldine Byrne-Nason.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, Her Excellency, the Senator Honourable Chantal Munro-Knight, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office, His Excellency Minister of State Corey Lee, Minister in the Office of the Attorney General, representative of government, industry, academia and the media, colleagues from the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests. It is truly a distinct honour for me to be here this evening in this most esteemed company of friends, old and new, to deliver my very first public remarks as Ireland's Ambassador to Barbados. Thank you. I would like to express my deep appreciation for the presence at tonight's event of Her Excellency Sandra Mason, the President of Barbados. President Mason, you honour Ireland and all of the Irish, past, present and future, who call Barbados home by your interest and engagement. Guru Mila Mahagat, thank you most sincerely in my own language. As Ireland's first ambassador to Barbados, I stand in the footprints of generations of Irish women and men who have travelled to this beautiful island and found their homes in Barbados. Frankly, I find that both humbling and a matter of deep, deep pride. Of course, the origin story of those who came here is not an easy one. It can be confronting, challenging, and it is complex, certainly. I hope that you will engage with the Entangled Islands exhibition tonight and recognise that spirit as you make your way through the display. This evening, we're reflecting on the legacy of those Red Leg Irish, their rupture from their own homeland in Ireland, and their lives thereafter in foreign fields. While the arrival of the Irish in Barbados and the beginning of our story on this island was often marked by pain, by estrangement and indentured servitude, community, friendship, and opportunity sustained that story through the generations. And today, it's a partnership and ambition that drives us forward together. As Ireland's 19th ambassador to the United States this year, the centenary of US-Irish diplomatic relations, I'm also reflecting on the steps Ireland herself took as a fledgling nation to find her place internationally on the global stage. We fully recognise and acknowledge the remarkable contribution of the Irish diaspora and emigrant communities and what they have given to our place and built our relationships around the world. The Irish diaspora is central to who we are as a state, central to how we operate in the world. Indeed, I would say is fundamental to our national identity. Tonight, we are so proud to work in partnership with Ireland's Emigration Museum, EPIC, and delighted to honour the Irish who built home and community here in beautiful Barbados by bringing the Entangled out for the benefit of all. In truth, what all that really means is that we're creating a very 21st century partnership dedicated to solving common challenges, advocating for shared values, and creating that mutual benefit. For Ireland and for Barbados, I believe, that is more than rhetoric. We're putting it into practice on a daily basis, and I couldn't be happier than to be the very first ambassador of Ireland ever to be able to say that. In Ireland's own precious native language, there's a wise saying that has defined much of what Ireland has done on the global stage as an independent republic, and it is Ní neart go cur le céile, which means there's no strength without unity. Ireland believes that as a small island nation, we can go further and make greater impact by working together through partnership with like-minded nations. This is absolutely how we view and what we know of what we share with Barbados. We see Barbados as a model global citizen and a model of global leadership on the many critical and existential issues facing us on this shared planet. Prime Minister Motley has issued a clarion call which cannot be ignored regarding the physical and financial havoc catastrophic climate change is wreaking on the Caribbean and on small island states around the world. Ireland strives to be an impactful voice also on this critical issue. Our second small island developing state strategy, which we developed closely in partnership with Caribbean partners, commits Ireland to continue and to deepen our diplomacy on the climate crisis and on its impacts and solutions. The Caribbean, and particularly Prime Minister Motley, have led the way in raising these issues to the forefront on the global stage. We've seen over and over again how critical working together on these challenges is, not least, of course, during Ireland's engagement on the issue of climate and security, when I led Ireland's team in New York during our recent elected term at the United Nations Security Council. The Irish government's own first strategy for Latin America and the Caribbean, which we launched just last year, gives voice and substance to our ambition for a mutually beneficial economic partnership with Barbados, and indeed right across the Caribbean. I'm really energised with what I see already by way of the clear pathways we have on innovative trade and investment and working economic relations between Ireland and Barbados. We share a commitment, I believe, to creating sustainable jobs and to harnessing new technologies for growth in the green and blue economies, and I'm certain that this new era for Ireland and Barbados will also see significant benefits for entrepreneurs. I hope so many young entrepreneurs also, for companies, for industries, and for our great diaspora's shared interest here for both of our countries. But let's get back to the reason for being here together this evening. Tonight is a celebration of a deep connection between our two peoples and our two islands, a relationship that has endured for more than 400 years, a connection which, from challenged beginnings, has blossomed into community, and I would say into communion, a connection that has transformed into an extraordinary relationship that Ireland and Barbados enjoy, and which allows us to look forward together with hope in the face of the exceptional challenges we face globally today. Ours is really a kinship. It's a kinship built on history and now underpinned by a shared commitment to growing a prosperous and sustainable future together. There is much that our two great islands can do together, and even though I've said it took us 400 years to get here, I have a sense that we're really only getting started. And as we say in Ireland, in our own language again, tú smaith leat na hibre, a good start is half the work. Gurv mila maith go bhfuil. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now I would like to call to the stage the CEO of EPIC, Ireland's Emigration Museum, Ms. Ailish Carew.
Thank you. Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, all other protocols observed. It's an honour to stand before you in place of EPIC's Museum's founder and chairman, Neville Isdell, who has made Barbados his home for many years. Unfortunately, due to a family matter, he cannot be here tonight, but he sends his warmest regards. His relationship with Barbados has taken a deeper turn as our shared histories continue with the development of the Pierhead project. But I'll start with EPIC. EPIC, the Irish Immigration Museum in Dublin, was established by Neville Isdell to honour the achievements of the Irish diaspora around the world. Over the centuries, more than 10 million have immigrated from Ireland. And EPIC not only celebrates these journeys, but emphasises that immigration is not merely about what's left behind, it's what's brought to new shores and the friendships and connections that the Irish continue to build. Tonight, we're very proud to unveil the exhibition Entangled Islands, which explores the 4 centuries of connections between Ireland and the Caribbean, beginning in the 17th century when Irish men and women were sent to work on plantations in places like Barbados as indentured labourers. While they received passage and provisions in exchange for their labour, their experiences were often marked by hardship and marginalisation due to their Irishness and Catholic faith. It's also crucial to acknowledge in this complicated history that some Irish people rose to power within colonial structures, benefiting from enslaved labour. Despite these complexities, there exists a shared history of resistance against colonial oppression. Our entwined narratives have fostered a rich tapestry of activism and storytelling, inspiring figures like John Archer, born to an Irish Catholic mother and a Barbadian father, who became the first black mayor of a London borough in 1913, and one of the many stories that you'll be able to explore in the exhibition. The Barbados Museum and Historical Society plays a vital role in preserving our shared history and making it especially exciting to host Entangled Islands here for the first time in the Caribbean, and we thank you most sincerely for all the support that you've given us. I extend my deepest gratitude to Ireland's Office for the Caribbean and the Embassy of Ireland in the US for their support in bringing this exhibition to life here in Barbados. Special thanks go to the Department of Foreign Affairs for their ongoing support since 2018. Our partnership continues to flourish as we share our immigration stories globally. Our historian in residence, Dr. Catherine Healy, is here with us tonight, who researched and curated the exhibition and has done a wonderful job. I'm also delighted to share that back home in Dublin, the Embassy of Barbados in November will celebrate Barbados National Day with us, having chosen EPIC as their venue, so our shared histories continue. The amount of people that are here tonight have really shown how important this exhibition is, and we are so proud to be here. I'm delighted to have quite a few of the team from EPIC present in the audience, so I hope you get to say hello afterwards. I particularly want to make note of Mervyn Green. He is Neville Isdall's stepbrother. Mervyn spearheaded the development and build of EPIC and is now here on the island leading the Pierhead project. Speaking of Pierhead, I also want to acknowledge Sir Paul Altman for his visionary role in the inception of the project and his continued help and advice. The demolition has been completed, and you will see a lot more of us in the island in the coming years as we embark on this very important regeneration project. I am confident that Entangled Islands will attract many visitors over the coming months and will continue to spark wonderful conversations about our shared history, both in the past, but I have a very strong feeling that we continue to develop a very strong and special history together. I would like to say, should any of you find yourself in Dublin, I warmly invite you to visit EPIC, and I look forward to chatting with you afterwards. Gurv Mila Mahaguts, thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we'd like to invite the mother of the exhibit, Dr. Catherine Healy, the Department of Foreign Affairs Historian in Residence at EPIC, Ireland's Emigration Museum.
Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, all other protocols observed. Distinguished guests, I'm honoured to be here this evening as the curator of Entangled Islands, Ireland and the Caribbean. Thank you to the team at the Barbados Museum Historical Society for bringing this exhibition over to Barbados, and particular thanks to Sharon Lennon from Ireland's Office for the Caribbean for the Trojan work that she's done in setting up this partnership. Entangled Islands builds on a growing body of scholarship on Irish migration to the Caribbean. It's a story, as has been mentioned, that begins in the 1600s when large numbers of Irish are shipped out to work on islands like Barbados. Colonial authorities here, as in Ireland, saw Irish Catholics as belonging to a backward culture. They were unfit to contribute anything beyond their labour to colonial development, as Hilary Beckles has written. And yet other Irish, of course, benefited from the brutalising systems of enslavement and imperialism. We do have to acknowledge that there were Anglo-Irish governors of Jamaica and Montserrat, and that there were Irish merchants and planters with no qualms about exploiting enslaved labour. We have to recognise that these two were part of our history. But there are many stories to take pride in as well. I'm thinking here, for example, of the United Irishmen in Belfast who boycotted plantation-produced sugar, who in 1791 hosted the abolitionist Oluda Equiano, a formerly enslaved man in Barbados and Montserrat, who came to Ireland in the late 18th century and said that he was everywhere well treated. I'm thinking of a man like James O'Kelly, the Irish journalist for the New York Herald, who sailed to Havana in the 1870s to report on the 10 Years' War against Spanish rule and brought the voices of Cuban patriots to millions of American readers. And I'm thinking of Kay Donnellan and Eleanor Cahill, two young women who left Ireland in the 1930s to teach at a Catholic school in Port of Spain and became leading voices in Trinidad and Tobago's labour movement.
The ebb and flow of an island people. It's always the sea. It's the sea, sea, sea. And I think sometimes we as island people have forgotten that. The landscape itself bears the traces of our history.
There were dairy farmers who came here shortly after 4000 BC.
And the people, who are the Irish?
We're obviously excited to think we find DNA of early humans, even Neanderthals.
How and when did we become who we are?
People were in tune with the changing seasons and the differences in life.
I can't think of any other name that towers across Europe like the name of colonial Islands.
The Irish have been saints and scholars, poets and storytellers, soldiers and sailors.
This was a very big market for sailors. Some of them were Irish, and especially from Norway.
The history of the Irish has long been a global one.
An Irishman called Gerald Ainger. He's the founding father of Bombay.
Many came to be short. Many left, never to return.
This is the largest Irish graveyard on the entire planet.
Today, over 80 million people worldwide say that they are Irish.
The Irish became kinds of gauchos here in the Pampas.
Have the Irish left a legacy in their being? You've just got to open a phone book, look at the names, and there they are.
From that small island, the story of the Irish is the fascinating history of my people who have truly left a mark on the world.
Thank you. So that's a little teaser of a multi-part series which will come to screens in the new year and will show the world of the wonderful connection between the Irish and the people of Barbados. And we're really looking forward to bringing that story to a global audience. I now have the distinct pleasure to welcome Senator Dr. the Honourable Shanton Munro-Knight, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, to address us on behalf of the Government of Barbados.
Good night, everyone. Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, Ambassador Brian Mason, all of the other distinguished guests, friends, all of you, friends that we may be comfortable with one another and friends that are to be made here tonight. I bring you a message from our Senior Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Honourable Kerry Simmons. Unfortunately, he could not be here with you, and therefore I have the pleasure of delivering remarks on the behalf of the government. First, I want to thank Sharon for taking responsibility, or having Ireland take responsibility for the weather. Certainly it confounds us Barbadians, so we are happy that somebody wants to take responsibility for it. Also as well, when Senior Minister directed me here and to deliver the remarks, he didn't ask me to just bring remarks, he said read his speech. And therefore, anything that is good and funny and profound in this speech, please associate with me. Anything that falls within the other basket, remember that I have been so directed to read on the behalf of the Honourable Senior Minister. It gives me great pleasure to join you this evening in commemoration of the launch of Entangled Islands, Ireland and the Caribbean, developed by the Department of Foreign Affairs of Ireland and EPIC, the Irish Immigration Museum, and on display here at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society. This evening marks the beginning of a celebration of heritage, lineage, and legacy that I am sure will continue into the years to come. For those of us gathered here this evening, I expect that this is by no means a secret that Barbados and Ireland share a strong historical connection, one that long predates the formal establishment of diplomatic relations between our nations on May 3rd, 2001. Indeed, Irish immigration to Barbados, traceable to the 17th century, with the experience of indentureship on our island, has so shaped our demography that many Barbadians may lay claim to Irish roots today. I am sure that most of you already know that one of our national heroes, the Right Excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty, is herself of Irish lineage, self-evident in her family name. I did not know that. Thus, it gives me great pride to be able to share with you a few of the many firsts accomplished in 2024, that undoubtedly speak to the enduring strength of the Barbados-Ireland relationship. A matter of priority for our government, Barbados established its newest diplomatic mission in Dublin, Ireland, in April of this year, following which the first ambassador of Barbados to Ireland, His Excellency Clavison Haynes, presented credentials to the President of Ireland on May 14th, 2024. 1 month later, on June 19th, Her Excellency Geraldine Bryan-Nason presented credentials to the President of Barbados, Her Excellency the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, as the first Ambassador of Ireland to Barbados. Which brings me back to the present. The Department of Foreign Affairs of Ireland and EPIC, the Irish Immigration Museum, have succeeded in capturing the story of Ireland, Barbados, and the wider Caribbean, and Barbados is fortunate to be the very first stop of the travelling Entangled Islands exhibition. This is the first time that this exhibit is being mounted outside of Ireland, and I wish to congratulate the Barbados Museum and Historical Society on the distinction of becoming the first host in the Caribbean. Barbados extends its sincere thanks and congratulations to EPIC. You could not have chosen a better first host. I'm very happy that I'm the minister for the museum and able to say that as well, so please associate me with that particular comment. I understand that this is yet the beginning of a growing relationship between the Barbados Museum and EPIC, and my ministry and I certainly look forward to assisting with the further collaboration in the future. I wish also to thank the Department of Foreign Affairs of Ireland, the Embassy of Ireland to Barbados in Washington, D.C., and of course, Ireland's Office for the Caribbean in Miami, Florida. Ambassador, we are elated to have you back in the island so soon, and I extend hearty congratulations to you and your team for their hard work and commitment to making today happen. Please do not be a stranger. Ladies and gentlemen, I have said a lot and still have not managed to scratch the surface of the depth of the relationship between Barbados and Ireland, both historically and in the contemporary sense. Suffice to say, however, that the opening of Entangled Islands, Ireland and the Caribbean here in Barbados marks the beginning of a new chapter for our two countries, and I could not be more thrilled. I am obliged to you. Thank you so much. I also want to say, and this is for me now on the behalf of the Ministry of Culture, that certainly it is a delight. When I was sitting and reflecting, and even as we saw a little bit of the film, that little bit of the teaser, and it just struck me again. I don't know if you saw the faces. There was a lady that was there that came up, and in her face, just that one image, the whole story of our connection was just reflected. The imagery as well of the sea and the land and the topography was, really struck a resonance and a nuance. And it really speaks to the complexity of small island developing states and all that is made up of our story, yeah, both the good and the bad. And it is that complexity, that layering and that nuance that we need to be able to share with the world, and importantly as well, share with ourselves and share with our generations. I'm always one to speak whenever I have the mic of the need for us to make sure that we tell those stories to our future generations. That it's important for us to what I always call future-proof our legacy, our history. Because if not, then we could have generations that come behind us that do not understand, again, the complexity and the nuances of what makes us who we are. And if we lose that, and if we lose that tapestry, if we lose that nuance and those stories, there's a piece of us as a people that will be lost. And in losing that, it means then that we have less understanding of what makes up the Barbadian. And again, in doing so, it means then that we are perhaps also less able to make sure that we can put our shoulders back, as I always say, and raise our heads high. Because that comes very much, that pride and that confidence comes very much from having a deep sense of knowing who you are. And if you have that deep sense of knowing who you are, then you do not become afraid in any space and on any stage to speak boldly, to take up space, and to make big footprints. It is what our Prime Minister continually does, and what she asks all of us to do as Barbadians and as small island developing states. That she reminds us that our smallness and our history doesn't define us more so. And that legacy that we have of slavery and the brutality is only but one piece of it. One piece of it. An important piece, but one piece, because within that piece is also stories of resilience and connection and growth and all of those things that are important to the Barbadian, to our island. Connection, collaboration, and family. So again, I want to say to all of you, let's not be strangers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now, with the enviable task to bring tonight's formal proceedings to a close and to follow the wonderful, passionate speakers who've gone before, is a friend and someone who's helping us with the gender balance of tonight's event, Deputy Director of the Barbados Museum and Historical Society, Mr. Kevin Farmer.
Thank you and good night. Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, all of the protocols being established. I have just been gendered. Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this memorable evening to a close, I'd like to extend heartfelt thanks on behalf of the Council, staff of the Barbados Museum and Historical Society for your presence at the opening of Entangled Islands, Ireland and the Caribbean. This exhibition is a testament to the power of shared history and collaboration, and it would not have been possible without the support of so many individuals, dedicated as they are, and organizations. Firstly, I'd like to thank Her Excellency, Dame Sandra Mason, the President of Barbados, for joining us this evening, and to the Senator, Dr. the Honourable Chantal Monroe-Knight, and Ambassador General D. Byrne Nason for delivering such insightful keynote remarks and, dare I say, inspiring as to the power of small island developing states. Your ongoing support of this initiative has been invaluable. Alongside the true partnership developed with Ms. Sharon Lennon, Head of Office for the Caribbean, I'd also like to express my appreciation to our Director, Alessandra Cummings, for her warm welcome, as well as a special guest, Ms. Elise Carew, and of course, as I said, you open a phone book and you'll see some names, and Carew is one of them, and Dr. Catherine Healy for delivering their inspiring words that have set the tone for this evening. Indeed, a special thank you must go out to the incredible partners at EPIC. You are truly epic. Under the leadership of Ms. Carew and the vision of Dr. Healy, your dedication and expertise in the production of the exhibition have brought us stories within Entangled Islands to life, and we are deeply grateful for what is the beginning of a fruitful collaboration. Our sincere thanks go out to Derek Wilkie of Sign Up for the excellent printing and installation of the exhibit panels which you will view tonight. To our Barbados Museum team, a huge thank you. From those who work behind the scenes to those who are involved in making tonight's event a success, your dedication never goes unnoticed. This includes our finance officer, our clerk, curator for social history and community engagement, Dr. Natalie McGuire, communications officer, Anastasia Bernard, facilities supervisor, Jason Lewis, marketing assistant, Andrina Cadogan, as well as Shaquan Innes, Akil Clark, Movita Baptiste, and Victoria Braffett from the support staff. Your collective efforts are the backbone of what we do. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge the technicians in the booth behind you, Travis, Brian, and I'm having a senior moment as occasionally happens because his lights are dazzling me. David, because believe it or not, because I'm of the stature that I am, I cannot see you. I only know that you're there. To our guests, thank you for sharing this special evening with us. We hope that as you explore Entangled Islands, it sparks thought-provoking conversations about the intertwined histories of Ireland and the Caribbean. Thank you once again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Distinguished guests, friends, we now exit the part of the evening where we listen all, and now we get to the part where we get to come together in discussion with a drink in hand, with a little bit of food, and to get to know each other for the first time, for the second time, for multiple times. And I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with each and every one of you as we move to the courtyard. The exhibit will be available for viewing and for exploration shortly. First, we will escort Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason and her guests to view the exhibit with Ambassador Byrne Nason and with the EPIC team and with the team from the Museum of Barbados. And once they have visited the exhibit, we will then be escorting small groups together with the wonderful museum volunteers, so everyone will get a chance to see and to interact with the exhibit that you've heard so much of tonight. So it just goes to say thank you so much to each and every one of you. It's actually quite difficult to contain emotion after all that has gone before, but I really am very, very proud to be here with you all tonight, and we now move to the part where we get to all enjoy ourselves. Thank you so much. So, if guests could just remain seated for one moment, and the Most Honourable Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, will take her leave to visit the exhibit at this time. So everyone, you can just bear with me for 2 more minutes. We could do a sing-song. Who's ready? I see a few faces ready to go.